So I'll call the meeting to order. It's 4:39. We have no one here for public comments, so we'll move right on to approval of the January 15th and February 18th minutes. Those minutes were in our shared drive, and Joy has brought copies for us as well. So I guess has everyone had a chance to review them?
I have not had a chance to review them.
Okay, do you want to take a quick minute to, well, not a quick minute, take as much time as you'd like to review them?
I mean, I typed them, so I guess technically I reviewed them.
I will say that the time for the meeting adjourning for the February meeting was an estimate because I did not write it at the time, but I do remember getting home at 8:30 and I live 5 minutes away, so.
I trust that.
That looks fine to me.
Okay. So Joy, is probably not appropriate for you to make the meeting to approve since you prepared them.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Yeah. So do you want to
Will
you make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as prepared?
I motion to approve the minutes as prepared.
Okay, for both January and February.
For both.
And I'll second that. And is there any further discussion?
No.
Okay, then all in favor say aye.
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 Great. So the next item on our agenda is an update on outreach to committee chairs. So we have not interviewed anyone since the last ones were in February. We've interviewed, I believe, 7 committees. So that's great. A couple things I see as follow-up. First, I think, Joy, you had mentioned at the last meeting, like we should try to get them they're living on the Harwich YouTube channel, but how can we get them to our website? And I believe the answer is we need to connect with Sarah Eaton at the town's IT department. I was going to ask Pauline if she would do that because she had connected with her for something else. I think it's probably appropriate for me to just reach out to Pauline, off meeting hours and say, like, hey,
support that. Yeah, and I know that the Harwich channel has a nice playlist of them, so it should be pretty easy to just embed that playlist.
Yeah,
you can run them consecutively.
Okay.
Why did I think that they were all done?
We did all the ones. We interviewed all the people who expressed an interest in being interviewed.
Okay, maybe that.
But there were 30 committees or something,
right.
And our hope was that perhaps people would hear about and see our interviews to date and say, like, oh, we'll do it too.
Right.
That hasn't happened yet, but who knows? But I don't think. I guess we could consider doing a follow-up email to the committees who haven't responded to us to see if they want to do it. I don't know. I mean, this is already kind of an extra service that our committee's offering, so I'm not sure we need to nag them into participating.
Yeah, I think it was a great project. You got good response. There's some great information in those videos. I did actually sit down and watch them all. It was great. And I think for the first time undertaking this project, I think it was great, and there's a great output that now will live as long as needed. And then if maybe next year we want to do it again and can try to get more people, I think that's fine. But heading into town meeting and election season, I don't think we need to add anything.
Yeah, great. Okay, so that was one question I had. The other question I had was last year, we tabled a annual town meeting, and I just wanted to know what people thought about doing, if people thought that was productive and whether they wanted to pursue that this year.
It was very helpful in pointing people in the right direction to check in for town meeting. We were basically like an information desk telling everybody thought they were supposed to check in with us, and partly that could have been placement. I don't know how effective it was because people seem very laser focused on what they're there to do, which is all of the issues on the warrant, and not kind of thinking about volunteering for a committee. So I don't know if it's the best use of.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What did you think, Amy? You were at both. I think you were there with me.
Yep. So I just had a thought in my head. Yes, people are focused. You're right, Joy. People are focused on getting to where they need to be. But I thought maybe if we had better signage or something along that line, so then when people walked in and it said in big letters or something, these are the open committee seats. Come check it out. Something marketing wise.
Right. I think that could alleviate a lot of the.
Attract people to at least come pick up a flyer, say, oh, I think about it, or I may know somebody who may want to join the committee.
The others, so we would meet again in April before annual town meeting. So we could continue this item over till next month. I know when I was working with Natasha in the select board's office to arrange the outreach for the original emails, she was trying to do some additional outreach, creating some flyers and whatnot. So I'm happy to follow up with her and see if she's done anything further, if she has any signage or images, what the count is. I haven't looked since our interviews, what the numbers are in terms of open committees. So I'm happy to make a call to her on that, and we can hopefully we'll have Emily and Pauline will be able to make it, or at least we'll maybe have more members so we can figure out whether it's something we want to pursue or not.
Okay.
I don't think we can just have a table with the form without actually staffing it. So we'll just make a decision.
Okay.
Okay. So make a note to follow up with Natasha. So for agenda item number 5, we put contested future programming, contested races, and that cryptic description was mine, but it was referring to partnering with the League of Women Voters for a candidates forum. So I did reach out to town clerk's office this morning, and Jen Clark was very helpful, and she told me that she gave me a list of the open or the contested seats right now. Papers aren't due yet, but there's at least 3 people have returned papers for a select board race with 2 spots available. So that's going to be a contested race, and there may be more. The Brooks Free Library has 2 openings, but only 2 people have returned or taken out papers and returned them. So that seems to be not a contested race. There's a number of races with just 1 opening, but again, only 1 person has taken out, so it's not going to be a contested. Okay. Or to date it looks like, I should say. The Charter Commission has 9 openings, but right now 10 people have taken papers out. They haven't all returned them, so that may also be a contested race, but at least we'll have a select board race. I did reach out, knowing that and trying to be proactive. I did reach out to Rosemary Shields of the League of Women Voters today by email, just saying hey, you want to get something scheduled? I haven't heard back from her yet, but
okay.
I guess we can see what our appetite is in offering non-contested races candidates the opportunity to give a 2-minute spiel.
Yeah, I think some of that will depend on scheduling. I know that it seems particularly the Griffin Room is more and more tightly scheduled. And if there's only a small
Right.
window of time that we can get in there, that will answer the question.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think some of that's just going to be dependent on when we can get in there in an appropriate time.
Yeah.
Before the election.
And if we on the committee could make it work, and if Channel 18 could make it work, we could always have like a, like we did with the open committee chairs, just come in here and record
Right.
something, if there was a burning need for the people to.
True.
But it is a busy time of year, so I don't want to make more work for us, but.
Yeah, I feel like the last couple of years it's been challenging to even find a spot that this event could kind of slide into.
No, it's true. And I couldn't remember if it was a committee issue or a league issue or a room scheduling issue. So that's really why I reached out to Rosemary today, just to kind of get the ball started rolling.
Right. Because I think between all of those, you do the Venn diagram and there's very few times that, particularly works for the league because they're doing this in so many communities.
Yeah, and they're doing a lot of other programming right now also. So,
excellent.
It's hard to imagine any other future programming. I think, I feel like we're winding down our FY25 activities, and future programming seems like a start of FY26 or maybe like a recap at the end of FY25. But if you had any ideas today, you're welcome to raise them.
We've got plenty between, town meeting and election stuff.
Okay, great. I agree. Amy, you are up for renewal. I hope you will say yes. I understand if you can't, but did you get an email from the select board's office on this?
I got a letter.
A letter, okay.
Yes.
So you know what steps you need to take. I think you only need to take steps if you're not.
Yeah.
If you just ignore
I don't
the
need to do
letter,
anything if I'm going to continue.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then Pauline is also up for renewal, which was brief. I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
That seems really short.
Yeah. Well, you also. Don't we have 3-year terms or 2-year terms?
I thought it was 3.
Yeah. So I don't know if you filled. I don't really know. I was surprised when it came up that it was you and Pauline, because you're our two. Well, I guess Emily's our newest member, but certainly. But I'm glad you're staying. Hopefully Pauline will stay also. And then I know under new business, I would just say I think after we get through town meeting and contested, candidates forum, we should maybe think about what we want, what the cycle of meetings should be, or, I'm not sure, we don't necessarily need to meet each month if we don't have things going on. Mm-hmm. So, I think I guess our charter maybe calls for monthly meetings, so we could always it's just, I think, something we should talk through because, we're efficient, but we're also we don't need to have a fast meeting if nothing's really happening.
I feel like in the past we've kind of taken a little bit of a summer break post-election when there's not really anything
absolutely
happening.
Yeah, so I think, we can talk about it. But I think it would be probably appropriate to at least take July and August off and maybe June depending. And then when we reconvene,
see what
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Would you like a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
Great. Try to hit the red button or turn it off. However you do that.
I don't know.
I think it's hit the red button, but there's directions. Oh yeah, sorry.
4:50.
Are you see the directions underneath, Amy? Does it say?